Hey everybody, and welcome to the Greenwich Homestead. So today is going to be just a quick little video. I wanted to go over things like seasonal planting and why you don't start your vegetable garden all at the same time. Even though if you buy plants, you can go to the store and you can buy tomatoes and peppers at the same time as you buy cauliflower and broccoli, you really don't want to put them in the garden at the same time, because they all have different growing conditions that are required for the best results. I just wanted to give a quick little update. I know you've heard me talk in the past about how this property is an old school property, and the more we clear back there, the more piles of junk that we find. So what we have been doing is bringing them up here to this front section, which is by the road, and sorting through it for trash, keepable, and junk. Junk prices, however, went down really low, so it wasn't worth the gas to bring them to the junkyard. But that's changed recently, so we've gotten started again, and I just wanted to show you this space up here where we do our sorting. It's almost empty again. So exciting. So that means, one, not only can we start on pulling and sorting the next round, but we can start on really revamping this and turning it into a workable space. Because now that we have road access down there, we no longer have to pull them up here. So this space will be getting finished this summer. We're going to be putting some gravel down here and making a little lean-to for storing our farm tools like the two-wheel tractors and things like that. The chickens are over there. We're going to be putting some grass seed. We have a fire pit over here somewhere. We're going to be doing an outdoor kitchen, and then of course we got the seating area by the gardens, which will be all pretty and everything, and it'll be a nice enjoyable space, and I'm very excited that we're finally able to get working on that. But let's go to the garden. You've probably heard a lot of different YouTube gardeners and homesteaders talk about cold crops. Basically, there are a family of vegetables that you plant that prefer to grow in the cooler months. If you get them out when it's too hot, they don't grow very well, they go to seed, and you kind of wind up not having a good harvest. So those cold crops are usually things like root vegetables that are protected by the ground, or anything in the Brassica family, which is cabbages, cauliflowers, broccoli, Brussels sprout, kale, kohlrabi, all those fun things. Something that not everybody knows, cilantro. Cilantro is also a cold crop, as is parsley. Parsley's a bit more perennial. I actually haven't experimented to see if cilantro will come back again every year. I just reseed it. But despite the fact that cilantro is something we associate with Mexican food and hot summer days, cilantro prefers to grow in the cooler months. So it's one of those things that you want to start really, really early. Have a plastic cover to get it going. This time of year, as you can see, it's going to seed. For cilantro, that's not a bad thing, because not only can you use the fresh greens as an herb, but the cilantro seeds are also used as an herb. Here in the States, we call it coriander. As I mentioned before, one of the other crops that is a cold crop are brassicas. It may seem annoying to you to try and remember all these bits of information, and why can't I just plant everything at the same time? You can. I don't recommend it for the cold crops because you're not going to get a good harvest off them, because once the summer heat gets here, they're just going to want to go to seed and they're going to bolt, and you're going to get a small amount, if anything at all. What's really nice about how to seasonally plant is that, for example, these two garden beds that you see behind me here, I've got our cauliflower over here with some beets, and then I've got broccoli and onions and garlic in each of these rows. What's nice about those is you see how big those plants are? They're almost starting to produce their crop for the season. And once they're harvested, that bed will be open and free for planting again. Depending on your season and how much length of time, you can sometimes get 2 rounds in 1 year. So you plant your broccoli and your cabbages early in the season, let them grow, make sure that they are in a spot that's going to stay a little cooler and a little more shaded in the summertime, because that spring crop is going to be finishing out in the hot summer. Harvest them and then plant again, and you'll have another crop in the fall. Obviously, this doesn't hold true for places like Alaska and in the higher northern states because your season is so short and your summers don't get super hot. You can grow them all together. But for most of us here in the continental United States, you need to know about starting your plants at different times. So like I said, you can see my brassica beds behind me are big and lush and full. And my tomatoes, they're just put into the garden. My peppers are not even out yet. So here's all my peppers. They're still little and they won't go out into the garden for another week. Right now they are out here acclimating. I do have some tomatoes that are still in the same phase because I grow rounds of tomatoes for marketing. Ooh, and I just wanted to show you this really quickly. Look at my beans. They're starting to climb. I'm so excited about these this year. If I haven't mentioned it before, I am not a huge green bean fan. Neither really is Heath. And my sister-in-law grows a lot of green beans, so if we ever need any, we just kind of trade for her. But I do love beans. I love like just fresh eating beans. We've got peas as well. But this year I decided with the arch trellis, because I need to grow some stuff over it to help shade out the cabbages and the broccoli and the cauliflower, I decided to grow climbing beans on this side of the arch trellis. Now, what I'm so excited about with these beans is I got 4 different varieties of a climbing bean, or 4 different colors, and I'm really excited to see what this trellis looks like as they grow over it. So to see them all up and climbing with their vines getting stretched out to start climbing up the trellis is really exciting to me. Quick update on the carrot patch. They're starting to come up. You can see these little greens right there. As far as the Victory Garden goes, now that Mother's Day has passed and the cold season has passed and we've officially moved out of any threat of cold nights, it is time to start moving on to the next stages. So if you remember, we've got our potatoes, we have our cabbages and kale, and then we have our beets and carrots. And this side over here, we are going to do corn. So corn is going to go in by seed, and you want to plant it nice and tight in a clump. Because corn pollinates through the wind, it's better to grow them in a clump than in a row. I'm also going to do some squash on that back section over there. The reason that I'm doing squash on the back half is to show people that you don't have to have corn in this section. A lot of people don't like growing corn at home. It's really difficult to find corn that is an heirloom or not been tweaked in any way. Now, you're not going to be buying genetically modified corn for at-home gardening. There is, at this point in time, no one legally allowed to sell genetically modified seeds to the public, so that's not something that you have to worry about. But it's not going to be heirloom or organic. It's going to have been crossbred to a way so that it survives better. Corn is one of those crops that's been around for so long, it's been tweaked so much. So I get it. Not everybody likes to grow corn in their garden. I get mine. It's a sweet corn I got from Haas Tools. It is an F1 hybrid, but I like sweet corn, so it goes in my garden. But like I said, you don't have to do corn in this patch. You can do a squash or a melon of some kind back here as well. What I've done is I've pre-soaked my seeds, and they're a little dirty because they can kind of spill it on the dirt, but that's fine. I've pre-soaked them for at least 12 hours to help break up and soften that outer skin so the plants will start growing. And then I'm just going to seed them here up and down in a little clump in this little patch. So when seeding your corn, you want to space them out at least 5 inches apart. You may have to thin them later. They will get to about an inch or a 2-inch stalk, so you want to make sure there's room. Corn has roots kind of like an onion, so it spreads out. So it doesn't go very deep, which is why another reason why you want to grow them into clumps. They help support each other in a high wind. Well, that's how you plant corn and all about seasonal cropping. I do apologize for the geese in the background. They're being obnoxious and rude, like geese tend to do. I know it's a short video, but we are going to end it here because you can clearly see we're not on the farm today. So this is one of my off weekends where I work half the weekend. We decided to just kind of chillax and have a little fun and get out on the lake. It's something I highly recommend doing, whether you work a 9-to-5 job or you have a full-time homestead or you do a little bit of both. You have to take some time for yourself to get out there and enjoy life. Otherwise, you're just gonna get burnt out and you're not gonna want to do the things that you gotta do. Is there some garden work that I could be doing? Sure. Do I have tomato beds that still need to be filled up with dirt and have tomatoes planted? Yeah. But you know what? That's okay. They can wait till tomorrow. Today, I'm just gonna relax. Thank you all so much for watching our channel. I hope you're enjoying all of our videos. And remember guys, get out there, get your hands dirty, and relax sometimes.